Bonjour, tu fais de ce épisode sur ce premier épisode même sur The Stanley Parable. Et je sais pas du tout ce qui m'attend. Vraiment, je me suis pas du tout spoilé le jeu, ça fait bientôt 10 ans que le jeu est sorti. J'avais tout fait pour garder ce truc-là secret et pouvoir y jouer quand je pourrais y jouer. Et il est temps. C'est parti.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
C'est l'histoire d'un homme appelé Stanley.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was
Je vais traduire après.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alors attendez, je vais voir parce que normalement je suis censé pouvoir mettre les sous-titres. Ah. Dialogue seulement, ok. En gros, ce qu'il a expliqué jusqu'à maintenant, c'est que Stanley, donc qui est le personnage qu'on joue, est un employé d'une grosse entreprise qui travaille dans un gros bâtiment. Il est l'employé 427 et son boulot, il est très simple. Il a un ordinateur. Sur l'ordinateur, on lui dit tu dois appuyer sur cette touche pendant tant de temps. Et lui, il appuie sur la touche pendant le temps indiqué à l'écran. Et il ne fait que suivre les instructions que l'ordi lui donne sur son clavier. Voilà. Sauf qu'un jour, il s'est passé un truc. L'ordi ne lui a donné aucune commande. Aucun ordre, rien. Il ne sait pas quoi faire. Et puis, personne n'est venu au boulot. Il est tout seul. Et l'ordi ne lui donne aucune information. Et donc là, en gros, ce qu'il nous dit, c'est... Voilà. Du coup, Stanley... Ben, il s'est retrouvé devant son ordi. Donc il s'est levé. Et il a quitté son poste. Et donc nous, on est là. Ah, c'est que je peux rien faire, ok. Je peux aller dans les bureaux.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
On m'a dit aussi qu'il y avait l'histoire du narrateur et que le narrateur il allait nous faire plein de trucs. Et de ce que j'ai compris, on peut très bien ne pas respecter ce que dit le narrateur. Et ça aura des impacts et tout. Ok. Je veux juste me balader là pour le coup. D'accord, donc là c'est vraiment une ligne droite.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth it, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ah oui, on peut littéralement chier à la gueule du narrateur.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that
s'adresse à nous directement, c'est trop bien.
can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to...
Ok.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Ah. Ah le bâtard. Ah le bâtard.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Je vais voir si je peux faire encore autre chose. Bon.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Et j'en ai pas envie. J'appuie sur d'autres boutons, j'essaie de voir. Bon.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Je peux vraiment rien faire d'autre.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures.
Ah, c'est des bâtards, c'est trop bien. J'adore.
Wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Je vais sur X pour regarder la télé, mais il n'y a pas de télé. Ah, ou alors, c'est elle.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Mais j'ai pas d'enfant. J'ai pas de femme, comment je peux avoir des gosses?
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many
C'est en train de transformer en bureau.
and destinations. Down one path lay
C'est en train de devenir le
long
bureau
with
427.
monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Ok.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be?
C'est trop bien.
Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Ok.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly
Ouais, voilà.
In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Non, j'ai envie de me poser des questions quand même. Qu'est-ce que je peux faire? Attendre. Je vais attendre. Je me dis, il y a un moment où il va se passer un truc. Si je fais rien, le narrateur va intervenir, non? Non, je sais pas, ça me semble logique. Je sais pas, ce jeu est trop bien parce que on a le choix de faire tout ce qu'on veut en fait. Le jeu passe son temps à nous prodiguer des choix et on est libre de les suivre ou non. Et normalement, si j'ai bien compris comment fonctionnait le jeu, on est libre en fait. C'est-à-dire que là, j'ai le choix de ne pas appuyer sur le bouton. De ne pas appuyer sur 9. Donc le jeu devrait avoir un truc pour le fait que je n'appuie pas sur 9. Et que je ne fais rien. Non? Non mais il devrait avoir un truc. Bon. Ok, donc là le jeu ne me laisse pas le choix en fait.
We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps.
Je vous jure, je suis perdu, mais j'adore.
Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Veuillez mourir, ok. What the fuck?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Ok, ça recommence.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Donc là, je peux tout simplement suivre les instructions.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open
Gauche.
doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ok.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Ça c'est le broom, donc c'est les balais, ok. C'est up.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
toilettes, ok. Je vais juste suivre les instructions.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Wow. Ok. Donc faut aller dans l'ascenseur. Ok. Je sais pas ce qui se passe.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This
C'est très drôle comme jeu.
go unanswered for long.
Le truc c'est que le narrateur il parle tout le temps donc c'est compliqué de...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Oui. Allez.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Oh.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom...
Ça fait penser à Matrix. Dans Matrix, il y a ça aussi. Il y a un truc avec les écrans.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept...
Ouais, on se voit là, juste là.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
J'écoute le narrateur. Je suis ce que dit le narrateur.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Beat the game. Ok, c'est un achievement. Et il y a l'air d'avoir plusieurs achievements qu'on peut avoir. Donc ça c'est le nouveau début du jeu. Je sors pas. Je crois qu'il y a un achievement justement qui consiste à ne pas sortir. Juste littéralement rester devant le PC. Il me semble. Hein. Je vérifie. Pour le coup, on a fini le jeu. Mais en fait, il y a plein de trucs comme ça. Et le jeu tourne autour de ça. Euh... Ok.
Stanley stood for a long time in one spot. It's part of a game. He likes to see how long he can go without dying. So far, he's doing excellent. And if he just stays right where he is, I'm sure he'll keep up that good momentum. Let's observe the genius at work.
J'ai regardé parce qu'il y a plein d'achievements qu'on peut avoir. Il y a vraiment des achievements à la con. Ok, donc il n'y a pas d'achievement là-dessus. On va essayer de faire tous les achievements. Parce qu'il y en a des très très drôles. L'un d'eux, c'est celui-là. Voilà, you can jump. Juste en bourrant la barre espace. Ensuite, c'est ici.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space, he felt, oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause.
C'est un achievement à la con.
Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks. No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417 et il nous faut 20 clics. Sur la porte 417. C'était... Ok. Bon, on va bourrer les clics.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
437, bah c'est la nôtre. Non. Ah merde, là c'est... Ah. Elle est là.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Ça a pas de sens, j'adore.
Now, back to door number 437.
Faut le suivre. Là, faut écouter ce qu'il dit.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
Elle est où la copy machine? Ça c'est la question, c'est où est la photocopieuse? Je sais pas où est-ce qu'elle est la photocopieuse. Je pense qu'elle doit toujours être dans les parages. Hein. Ouais, elle doit forcément être dans les parages. Oh, attendez. Je sais pas où est-ce qu'elle est la photocopieuse. Ah, elle est là.
All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Ok, je l'ai cherchée, je l'ai trouvée, c'est bon. Ok. 417, c'est celle-ci.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk. Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416. We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
J'adore.
Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430!
Non, la 430, elle est avant. Elle est là.
Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing.
C'est trop bien.
Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now. What were you thinking?
D'accord. Oh! Ok. Ok, il y a des achievements qui sont très très drôles à faire. J'ai regardé des trucs.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
On va refinir le jeu.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Faut que je fasse quoi là?
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Ah ok. Ok, j'ai compris.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
D'accord, apparemment il y a un moyen de pouvoir monter directement sur les trucs.
Horrible to believe it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Bon, je vais tenter d'autres
It was
trucs.
unthinkable.
On est censé pouvoir le faire en 4 minutes
Was it
22.
even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Je cherche le 3. Ça c'est le 5. Ah, ça c'est le 3. Je veux voir tout ce qu'on peut faire. Je veux vraiment tester ce jeu, les limites, faire vraiment des conneries avec. Allez. Et le 5, on l'avait vu. Ah, c'est celui qui est là. Non? Ok, bon. On va réactiver le truc pour voir ce que ça donne.
And when at last he found the source of... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your efforts.
Je tente.
I really do.
Je tente.
But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground.
Ouais, bon, on va attendre, ça va péter.
Inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me.
Je vais regarder les fins en fait.
That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until
let's go.
and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life.
Il y a tellement de fins dans ce jeu, c'est une dinguerie. Ça, c'est l'une des fins. Ça s'appelle la fin bombe. On va faire les autres fins. Il y a tellement d'autres fins. Oh les mecs, mais il y a tellement d'autres fins. Oh, je vous jure, YouTube. Dites-moi dans les commentaires ce que vous avez pensé de ces deux fins-là. On va essayer de faire toutes les fins de ce jeu. Genre, vraiment, il y a trop de fins possibles. C'est trop stylé. J'adore ce jeu. On se retrouve du coup dans le prochain vidéo YouTube. Si vous avez aimé, likez, partagez, abonnez-vous. Dites-moi dans les commentaires ce que vous avez pensé des deux fins qu'on vient de faire là. Et ce que vous attendez des fins qu'on va faire. Sur ce, on se retrouve dans le prochain épisode. Moi, je me dépêche parce que j'ai envie de jouer, j'ai envie de tester tout ça. N'hésitez pas si vous voulez voir cet épisode-là, tout simplement rejoindre sur Twitch, vous avez le lien dans la description. Et sur ce, on se retrouve à la prochaine. Ciao, ciao YouTube.